Hey up! First video after New Year. In Bitholmes Wood today, and we're going to find the Dragon of Wantley. Technically, we're going to find the carving of it and have a look at its current plight. So I'll explain a little bit more about everything that's going on further in video, so make sure you keep watching. So I'll give you a brief rundown. The Dragon of Wantley is a 1685 poem written locally around here about a dragon that were terrorising local settlements, taking the cows and their children and stuff like that, and the villagers had no answer to it. All their weapons and abilities were ineffective against the dragon, so they all banded together. They put all the wealth that they had, and they offered a knight who were called Sir Moore. They offered a knight all the wealth, all the riches that they had, and a portion of the land to come and slay the dragon. Some pretty muddy terrain on this ascent. Being the legend that he was, Sir Moore kindly accepted the villagers' offer, turned up, slayed the dragon, and so was born the legend of the Dragon of Wantley. So even though this sign here continues to show the dragon emblem, we can actually get up slightly quicker if we were to take this left fork here. So that's the way we're going to go. So the area Moor Hall, and along with all its properties, are what's said to have been what the villagers granted to the brave knight for vanquishing the dragon for them. Obviously that's still named Moor Hall today. Moor Hall Reservoir, Moor Hall itself. So, I mean, I doubt there were a dragon really involved, but it's a nice little story. So the tale of the dragon and the knight is actually an adaptation of a version of the truth that really happened in Sheffield, where a guy called George Moore took on the Sheffield aristocracy about the appropriation of wastelands such as this one, you know, just due to greed and wanting more for themselves. And this guy George Moore, I think 1573, took him on in a legal case. So we're coming up on the dragon carving and the wall now. I'll just show you. It's gone a little windy, so I hope it doesn't affect the audio too much. But here we are, the Dragon of Wantley, that's definitely seen better days. I'll put a picture on screen now of what it used to look like when it were first installed, and some years that it's remained quite glorious. So the dragon head's carvings just completely fell to bits, and if we walk down the wall you can see that it's got quite a rigid spine like a dragon's back, and these two built out areas represent the dragon's legs and wings. There's an information board that survived the test of time reasonably well. A little bit scruffy and maybe not brilliant, but I'll have a zoom in on this and I'll put it on screen so you can have a read if you want to pause it. So the reason that this site was chosen for the carving and the sculpture of the dragon is that this is apparently very close to where how the story told that the knight killed the dragon, overlooking the valley and the edge of Warncliffe Crags that we can see. Maybe you can't pick them up too well on camera, but you can see the Warncliffe Crags dominating the skyline through the trees. So it's slightly difficult to see because at the now grown trees, but that whole ridge across from us, that's where the crags are. I'm just going to take a slight walk back and get out at wind so I can continue telling you what's happening today. So I've just come back into wooded area to finish the rest of the tale. So the one thing I forgot to mention is that the knight had a customised suit of Sheffield steel armour, a spiked set of armour, which allowed, it was the only thing that was strong enough to kill the dragon, and apparently he kicked it in his arse gut, which was the only vulnerable part of the dragon. And very much like George Moore found the only vulnerable part of the Sheffield aristocracy was its finances, and that's where he hit them to secure his victory, same as the knight found the weak point of the dragon. So let's go for my story. So back when I were at infant school, certainly probably mid-80s, we performed a play here, because this was apparently the exact site of the slaying of the Dragon of Wantley, overlooking the valley. And we performed a play, and we left some, I believe we had a small carving of a dragon's head, and we perched it on the wall that existed at the time, and we did a play, and we all learnt about the local history and the story of the Dragon of Wantley. That was sometime in 80s. I'm pretty sure it were infant school. I certainly don't remember it being junior school, but my memory could fail me. Fast forward to the year 2000, the Millennium Fund, I believe, allowed the Woodland Trust to buy this Firth Wood and Bitholmes Wood, and it were renamed, this part were renamed the Wantley Dragon Wood in 2001 under the guidance of the Woodland Trust. I believe then the wall that we see here today and the dragon head that's sculpted and now rotted was installed back in 2009. There were a dry stone waller and there was a wood carver, and they worked in tandem to make the dragon that we see here today. It still holds a lot of fond memories for me, this place, so to see the evolution of it over the years was brilliant, and obviously now to see it in such a state of disrepair is slightly soul destroying. And this hasn't been vandalised. I mean, this is you know, probably non-treated wood, and it just simply hasn't stood the test of time. You know, it's all caved in, it's all completely shafted, and I kind of want it sorting. You know, it upset me to see it in this state, and I wanted it sorting. So having briefly liaised with a few local people and attempting to contact the Woodland Trust myself, because this board here says it's the Woodland Trust, as you can see, and they're even kind enough to leave some contact details to get in touch with Woodland Trust. But alas, sadly they never responded to any emails. You know, I appreciate that this is a very small landmark in terms of what the Woodland Trust has got to look after nationally, and I weren't getting anywhere. So I decided to pull out the big guns. I got hold of my local MP, Miriam Cates. Let's have a walk up here, get out at wind and get sat down. I think that'll be prudent to finish the rest of the tale. Yeah, so we should be a bit better here. I've come just right to the edge of Firth Wood. You can see the sign for it here. Slightly more sheltered area, so should be able to finish rest of the video here. And in fact, I'm going to get myself sat down here. That looks reasonable. Oh, there we go. Now, whether you agree or disagree with her political standing, that's down to each individual person. The fact remains she is our MP, and on local issues she's very approachable. I wrote her a very politely worded email pleading for some help, and I didn't even particularly want her to deal with it. I just wanted a helping hand in terms of getting hold of someone from Woodland Trust. I was prepared to do all heavy lifting myself. And a few weeks passed and I get an email back from a kid in her office called Sam. Now for the last few months me and him have been bouncing emails back and forward to each other, and 10 o'clock this morning, which is in about half an hour, we've got a meeting with Miriam, Sam and I believe it's 3, but it might be 2 representatives of the Woodland Trust, and I'm gonna put my case for why this thing should get sorted. I'm gonna look at potential fundraising, potential people who can do it. The Woodland Trust you've got the information about the land, and hopefully we're gonna get somewhere. So, I don't know whether we are gonna get anywhere, but it feels like things are moving forward. I'm going to suggest that we put a nice stone one there, if we can get a stone carving done. Maybe an up-to-date information board, maybe get a couple of benches in, get it a slightly more accessible place, and let's start teaching local kids about the legend again, because my boy's almost 12, my daughter's 6, neither of them have ever heard of it. And, we learnt about it at school, and I think local parts of heritage, I mentioned in my 40th video how proud I am of my Stocksbridge heritage, how proud I am of my Sheffield heritage. I think stuff like this is really important to keep pushing to the forefront of children's education. I'm not saying forego maths and English and essentials like that, but we can dedicate some time to this. This is important. This is what, I'm not saying brings communities together. This Dragon Head, it's not be all and end all. If it don't get done, it don't get done. But no, I certainly hold a lot of pride in this area, and I'm very fond of the memories that I have. So I've talked for a hell of a long time. Thanks for bearing with me. And we'll just walk back down to Dragon now. I'm going to tog up a little bit more, because I'm going to be stood around for 5-10 minutes while the rest of the crew members get here. And hopefully I'm going to see if any of them will talk to me on camera. I can't imagine they will. They might do. So we'll just see. But I'm going to walk back down to where Dragon is now. And thanks for watching. There may be some more coming after this, in which case I'll cut this. But if not, thanks for watching. Happy New Year to everyone. Good to see you all again. And look forward to making some more videos for your and my own enjoyment in 2023. Avec bonsoir. Just had a call confirming that they're nearly here. I thought they were going to, half expected them to bail, but no, it sounds like it's actually happening. Mint.